be anything like Hawaii or St. Martin, but Pleasure Island is a nice little getaway just to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city and at least enjoy some of the water before you have to return to the city. So if you just need a little time to decompress, just head out to Pleasure Island for some fishing and some walking around to rejuvenate. See the lower shadow, you can see the jaws clamp and neck hanging onto the camera that is capturing this ride. I have grown very, very fond of the GoPro jaws clamp and neck for the GoPro 7 because, as you can see, these angles are just absolutely amazing. You feel like you're so close to the road, and yet from this wide angle it looks like we're very close to the road, but honestly there's still a good 5 or 6 inches of clearance even when I'm doing a deep turn. So this kind of action is just so cool to see. It's like you're seeing a real live action movie, like a Jerry Bruckheimer film or something. Either way, I really enjoy this angle for several reasons. One, it looks cool, but two, I can also check on the bike and see if there's anything in the undercarriage or anything else that I need to take note and be aware of. So if you have an advantage like that to where you can put a camera like this to see everything that's going on with your bike, it is highly recommended. So that way you can see what you can't normally see if you're just riding. So I highly recommend a camera like this. If you're on the road long enough, you will occasionally see bikers give 2 fingers to other bikers going along. That's actually a very big simple saying that, hey, keep both tires on the road and enjoy the ride. And as you see that, me and my passenger gave Deuces to another biker couple who passed by us just there. And they reciprocated the very same thing. Very nice of them to do that. In fact, all bikers will do that. You give them Deuces, they'll give Deuces back. Because we all want to have a safe and pleasant ride. Again, keep both tires rubber side down on the road and have a safe and peaceful ride. Deuces. As we are at the peak of the MLK Junior Bridge, I am reminded of another thing that I am not particularly happy about. At the foot of this bridge is a traffic signal. And the reason it concerns me is this. Please make sure that your brakes are well maintained with plenty of brake shoe depth and your discs or drums are in proper working order. Because should they fail on this bridge, and if you have a red light and the traffic signal, that can lead to all kinds of calamity and, Lord forbid, an accident. So that's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of a traffic signal at this bridge. So just please keep your brakes in check at all times. and make sure that if you have a traffic signal at the bridge that you're ready to stop with plenty of power to spare. Now fortunately it turned green at the foot of the bridge, but I'm just not exactly thrilled about the traffic signal at the foot of the bridge. And plus I don't see that much traffic there any day anyway, so you could just do a two-way stop on the other streets, but that's not my call. As we are approaching the next traffic signal, I was very delighted to see in my rear view mirror, and also in this camera angle right in front of you, there's a small little group of bikers coming up on the lane, including one cruiser and two Sportsters. Again, this was a perfect day to ride. 65 degrees and sunny, it's a perfect day to ride. Now, I couldn't give deuces because I was getting ready for the traffic signal, but it was still really cool to see that other bikers like me were enjoying this beautiful and perfect weather. And as these guys were going, it was just so cool to see. Deuces to all of you guys. Hope you had a great ride. And as always, when you are approaching a railroad crossing, get those bottoms up. It will save your spine. As you can see, the edge of my leather chaps is slightly obstructing the view here. I mean, it's not a total obstruction, but it still prompted me to ask, how can I trim these without ruining them? Well, thanks to the little miracle called YouTube, I was able to find an answer very quick. This guy named Jammin' Leather has a nice little tip on how to trim leather chaps. And I will post that video in this video description. So if you need to trim your leather chaps because they're too long like mine are, go ahead and do that. And hopefully on my next ride with leather, it'll be nice and trimmed and manageable. And I will have another ride on that in the future to show that. Before I get on Highway 73 East, I was noticing that there was a gravel dump truck right behind me to the left, which prompted me to remind myself of another safety tip. Do not get behind these gravel trucks for any reason whatsoever. If you can avoid it at all costs, avoid it at all costs. You'll never know when a little pebble or rock will bounce out of there and do immeasurable damage to your bike, or worse, to your body. So please, avoid those gravel trucks at any and all costs. You'll never know what's going to pop out of there, especially when it bumps. As I'm blazing down Highway 73, I was reminded of another idea that could maybe help others hear your presence a little better. As you can see, I'm in the fast lane with a stone concrete barrier to the left of us. If you know your signs very well, you know that sound can be reflected off of hard solid objects like this. So that way, if you're in this fast lane, maybe the cars in the slow lane will hear you better and avoid switching while you're in that lane. Because when that sound reflects off of that barrier, it can reflect over towards you and maybe over to the other cars on the other side. So if you want to make your presence more well known, stay next to the concrete barrier and have science work for you instead of against you. The more sound, the better sound. So make all the noise you want to. As we are approaching the end of our ride today, allow me to thank you again for riding along on this beautiful sunny day here in Southeast Texas. Hope you learned a lot about biker lifestyle, challenges facing a biker, and hopefully with these safety tips for bikers, whether you are riding a bike or driving in your car, I hope these safety tips can be used and applied in any ride you may go to, whether it's for a long road trip or for your daily commute to work. Whatever it is, I hope it is beneficial to you. This is SFAPowerhouse signing off. Y'all take care, God bless, and enjoy the ride. Deuces.